Hey guys, it is River. I am going to just quickly show you how I've gotten this result here from Neo. I'm going to do a proper analysis for you guys just to show you what I do when I do these longer term analysis here. So let me just open up a clean chart so I can start from zero. I'm going to load up my RSI. Good. I'm going to stick on a couple of EMAs. I'm going to change that one. Get 55 on there. I'm going to get the 100 EMA on there. And I'm going to get the 200 EMA on there as well. All right. Now, just going to zoom out and go to the weekly for a moment. Now, basically what I do when I start if I start a new coin, I'll zoom right out first, okay? So I want to get an overall idea of the trend. I want to get an overall idea of support and resistances. I want to see, you know, the bigger picture first. So as far as support and resistances go, it looks pretty clear that we don't have very much left. So an upper resistance, you know, is something around there. See here, we've got the rejection here, we've just got the wicks underneath, and then over this side here, we can see that we've kind of acted as a resistance there as well. Underneath, you can use the wick, and that will get your bottom support for that area there, support here, which is now possibly a resistance. And then we're going to use the bottom of this wick down here as well, just as a guide of Bitfinex's near all-time low. That's basically all that's relevant at the moment. We've just looking at the RSI, there's no clear divergence in the weekly. It's all pretty, you know, in place. There's no bullish there. It's all very neutral at the moment. Go down to the 3-day. See if there are any more. Okay, so we've got another support there, resistance now. Right, you see you've got the wick there, the wick underneath. Little rejection there, come up here and touch. Okay, so that one's a strong one. Got the EMAs there as well as a resistance. The 3-day RSI, let's have a look. So we've got a possible bearish continuation here. So you see that it's where the price action, where the RSI was the highest at this point. Okay. So actually that there, it's quite flat. Let's just draw a line on that one there. Okay, you've got a clear support resistance here on the RSI at about 41. Okay, you see we've just tipped over it there. Hello, Canadian Crypto Chris. And we've come back under again. Okay, so there are a few different things happening at the moment here. There was a little bullish divergence on the 3-day. All right, just here. Ever so slight, but it is there. And that's brought us to this run up here. Now, given that we're currently seeing a little bit of bearish continuance divergence here, it makes me think that the trend will continue down, but I'm going to zoom in a little bit further, take us to the 1-day. All right, now on the 1-day, we have no regular bearish divergence at the moment. Okay, so RSI is going up, price action is going up, no divergence is current. What we do have here is a possible bullish continuance. Okay, so we've got the bullish continuance there. Now, if the price goes and closes on the 1-day chart below this 705, that will ruin this divergence. Okay, so that will no longer be valid if the price does go below that point there. So that one isn't a guaranteed divergence, but it is possible. If you were to go long at this stage, you know, hypothetically speaking, as a long-term trade, because we are on the daily, remember, your stop would be below just below this point here, okay? Because as soon as that RSI breaks, or the price action breaks down, the divergence is no longer relevant anymore. Just going to zoom into the 12-hour. The 12-hour also doesn't have a bearish divergence here, and we do still have this bullish continuation on the 12-hour as well. So we could possibly, you know, there's not necessarily going to be another higher high, but I mean, there should be a continuation at least for bullish pattern possibly coming into play. Now I'm going to zoom in even further just to show you a little bit of Elliott wave, because the count here is quite interesting. Actually, I might just leave that there as a point break for a bullish pattern. So I'm going to go to the 4-hour. Forget about the RSI for a second. We're just going to work on Elliott wave. Okay. So zooming in here to the first structure. All right. We had the lowest point is that little wick down there. So we've probably we've ended up with a truncated fifth, or this is some sort of correction pattern here. So first, let's just forget about this for 1 second. We're going to work on this structure right here. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got your first wave here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Third wave here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth wave there. All right. So we can all agree that that's a nice little fifth wave structure. The RSI agrees with us here. So we've got a little bit of a bearish divergence there, which usually happens between a third and a fifth wave. So that's that. Now, this is a little bit of a funny count here. So we've got a triangle, of course, and now a triangle is usually a B wave, or it can be an X wave as well. There we go, or a fourth wave, of course, but this is clearly not a fourth wave. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit closer just to get a little bit more information from this structure. Remembering that that's our bullish point break pattern here. Okay, so you've got your triangle, of course. Let's start with that one there. A, B, C, D, E. Okay. Now this structure, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe a fifth wave there. Maybe. All right. We could have 5 waves there with a semi-truncated fifth, because that only has 3 waves at the end there. What it is most likely to be is a WXY. So you've got your 1, 2, 3, your X wave, and then your 1, 2, 3 there for your Y wave, okay? Just simply because there is not a clear fifth wave here. There is 1, 2, 3 waves there. This could be an internal third wave, sure, if we drew it like this. Let's go. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a truncated fifth, let's say. But that fifth, remember, only has 3 waves. So what it is most likely to be is a WXY pattern. 1, 2, 3, X wave, 1, 2, 3. Good stuff. All right. Good. And then this little end bit here, the finalization of the correction, is most likely 1, 2, 3 as well. So which would make this entire structure WXY. Okay. X being our triangle, and then we've got a little Y wave down there. Now, looking at the rest of the picture, here we have 5 waves up. Here we have an ABC down. So we've got the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect C wave. This is an ABC as well. So automatically I'm thinking we've got a flat here. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that entire structure is an ABC flat. purple. Make that bigger to see. All right, so we've got an A, B, C. And then got 5-wave structure up. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this 5-wave has the extended first wave, so it's an ending diagonal there, which is nice, as you can see. So that's a nice little 5th wave. Okay. Now usually you don't get a 5th wave like that unless you're in a final and closing wave. So let's go back and have a look at the bigger picture. So we've got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. We've got some sort of weird correction here, and then possibly the start of the next impulse. Okay, so we would assume before all of this mess that we were going to get 1, 2nd wave flat, 3rd wave up here, a little correction here, and then up for our 5th wave, let's say. Okay, without even using Fibonacci, we could assume that that would be the pattern that would happen. Now, this entire structure would either be an ABC up or it could be an impulse. So this would be the big 3rd wave or it would be a C wave. Now, given that this just didn't really work out and we've come back down here and we've broken all the rules. So if it was to be a C wave or a 3rd wave, let's say, the internal structure, if it was a 3rd wave, we could not come back and correct past around here. You know, wicks are accepted. So we wouldn't be able to pass this point here if it was a 3rd wave, if it was going to be an impulse. All right. If it was a C wave, it could be an ending diagonal, which means that we could not pass this level here, which we have. Okay. So what is my thinking of this pattern? Still recording? I have no idea. Okay, I'm just going to continue on just in case it was already recording. That's so weird. Why did they do that? Okay, so in my opinion, we've had a failed impulse here. What is a failed impulse? Failed impulse is an X wave. So in my opinion, forgetting about all of this bullish divergent, the bullish continuance that we currently are seeing, we have completed an X wave. All right, so this entire structure here, failed impulse, is one big complicated X wave. Now, that one all finished. All right, so we can get rid of those because we have broken those lines here. And now we're seeing a similar pattern to what we saw over here. Okay, so we've got the weird 1, 2, 3 down, okay, coming down. So what I possibly think this is here is a WX, WX, WXY, XZ pattern. So a correction, because we do only have, you know, 1, 2, 3 waves here, 1, 2, 3 waves there, 1, 2, 3 waves here, and a couple of X's. Then we come up here. Now, whether or not we're forming a triangle here or not, it would essentially be another X wave. So whether this X wave here is complete as is, as an ABC, or whether this is forming an X wave triangle of some sort, we're going to assume that the trend is down because we are correcting. We have completed that X wave from above. Okay. Now, an X wave it would usually, get out fib. it's usually going to retrace to about the 0.382 or the 0.5 mark. So at this point, I'm not completely sure whether we're going to get a wave up to around, you know, the $8.59 level, or whether we're going to be happy with this 0.386 as the correction and then just drop down as if it was a triangle. So basically, using that and assuming that that is the case, that we will either come up here and break down, I can still work out what our bottom targets are going to be. So remember that we have this red line here because this is the break of the bullish divergence, okay? So using fib, I'm going to use this first wave as to bring us to where we think we might go. Okay. All right, so we've reached the 7.86 level, so we're most likely going to reach this 1-to-1 level down here. So that 614 would be probably the first kind of area to look at. We can also use we get up here, the 1-to-1 would be about the 515. Make that one a different color, orange. But either way, it looks like it will probably head down. Now, if we get on our daily, so I'm writing love the RSI. Remember that bullish divergence that we saw here? We break down below here and stay above this line here on the RSI. That would be a pivot for us, okay? So that's would be quite bullish in future NEO, you know. So imagine we get down to this $4 range, which is what the last wick of support was. Okay. 374. Using the fib retracement tool of the entire X-wave structure, we could get really as low as $2.61. Now, what I'm thinking here is what we might get is like kind of a capitulation kind of candle that will bring us, that will just be hard and fast eventually. You know, we've got such high long positions at the moment, especially on BTC, and it could essentially come down and just be a capitulation, like one big, long, crazy candle that would just run through everything. Now, what if that does happen and we do end up, you know, around these four? If anyone remembers, I had a long-term chart that brought NEO down to about 414. It's not out of the question. Absolutely, it's definitely. I think it's definitely going to make its way there in the near future. I'm not sure if it will make it as low as $2.63, but I mean, it's a possibility, of course. And if we do get that really, really strong candle that we saw, if anyone remembers back in March, and we got that huge candle down, and everyone thought that NEO was going to go to 200 and 400, and yeah, a lot of people lost a lot of money in that. But you know, if we do end up getting this big long candle and remain, the closing on the daily remains still above here, that's really, really bullish, and we should get a really nice pump out of that. You know, I looking at the big entire structure, we could essentially end up, you know, back up to 25 ranges, you know, and if we have, you know, once we get more information on the chart, it'll be easier to tell. But I mean, if we get an order in, let's say we get an order in about $4 and we head up to, I don't know, 25, which was an original chart that I had. It's a 500% gain. That's insane. So at the moment, anything's really possible. I do have some long-term views on other coins as well. You guys have seen F. I'm working on a couple of others, but at the moment, yeah, I'm looking at this 550 range, 614. for some kind of bounce, come down, possibly down to the 5.15 range, possibly even down to $3.74. But as of course, you know, we want to watch out for this possible little wave up here as well that would come, and just be careful there. If we do get that wave up, you know, we can say look at entering a short around that region, because overall the trend is really bearish, and you know, it's a very clear failed impulse here. There's really no way around it to be bullish to make it work at this point. You know, I don't see it going above $10. I don't even see it going above $9. So yeah, that's the NEO analysis for today. I hope you all enjoy it. If you have any questions, of course, just ask me. And yeah, I'll see you all in the Discord. Bye-bye.